We're making a few runs at some brass. You hear Cameron's Festool vacuum that we're using for what? Ventilation, filtration. I'm shooting this from, inside the enclosure. So we're doing something just for practice, because we're getting ready to try and do a wax stamp for a very good friend. And we don't know what we're doing quite yet, but this looks like it's going well. It's a relatively simple design though, and what she wants I think is more complicated, so we're trying to figure out how much detail we're going to be able to get once the design hits the wax, because of the viscosity. You lose some of the detail in a wax seal, whereas like if you were just using this as a coin or just a design on something, it would be absolutely fine. But when you're dealing with another medium, you have to consider the stability and viscosity of that medium and what's going to work and what isn't, and how much detail you're married to keeping. So we shall see. Okay, so this is what that looks like before he does the cleaning pass. This is brass. Is it 1 millimeter? 1 millimeter brass? Okay. I think it's 1 or 2 millimeter. I'm not sure. But isn't this the same kind of brass we were using before? Okay. So, all right. So he's going to do the cleaning pass, and then we'll see what it looks like. But I'm inside the enclosure now. Okay, I'm super bummed that I didn't film that, because it really does make such a big visual impact, but it ended up doing 2 cleaning passes, but it's a pretty big difference in terms of what it looks like. Now for a stamp, those words would have to be mirrored. Well, the whole thing mirrored. But if we were doing this as a wax stamp, but I think that would work really well as a stamp. So maybe we'll make one. Okay, we're back at the fiber laser again, and this time we're doing 2 separate dragonfly designs. Each of them, this isn't going to fit in a 1.5 inch field though, honey.
Each one individually though.
Really? On a 1.5 inch round? Oh, it looks too big to me for that. Anyway, the point was we wanted to see how much detail you could get at a small scale. So these are 2 different designs. We don't think either of these would be suitable for a brass, a wax seal kind of stamp. But I was curious as to how much detail we could get. And then last time I didn't film the cleanup pass, so I want to do that this time so you can see it. And we are viewing this through the orange enclosure, and I'm looking at it through green glasses and the orange enclosure. So I really can't see what's going on here a whole lot. But I'm hoping you can a little bit better than I can. So is this engraving or cleaning up?
It's engraving.
It's engraving. I still think those are longer than 1.5 inches across. You don't think so?
Well, I told the software 1.5 inches, so we'll see when it comes out.
All right. How much power do you have going?
100%.
Oh, really? What made you decide to go 100%?
Because we're engraving and trying to get biggie.
Okay. And we determined that the brass is only 0.8, 0.9 millimeters thick. So, yep, really thin. This one's taking a lot longer to engrave than I would have thought. How many passes?
It should just be 5. But it's 5 in each direction.
So 10.
Yeah.
So, well, this is real time. And then do you have to, it has to stop and then you have to set up the cleanup?
It'll just take a couple of seconds to fill it to come out.
Okay. So it's done now. And he's going to set up the cleanup. That really cleaned up the middle, that's for sure. And how many passes for cleanup?
Just 1 in each direction.
Okay. So unless you've shocked these fiber lasers, you probably don't know, but if you have, you know that all the companies brag about how detailed their lasers are, how fine a point they can put on things. So something like this to me is a good exercise or measure of just how well they live up to their promises and their claims. That second dragonfly looks pretty good.
We could run a second cleanup test to see if it helps.
Yeah, I mean, they don't take that long. But I think you've got a pretty good rendering on this second dragonfly. I intentionally put these, or asked him to put these side by side because the first dragonfly, which I can post like images from the web, the lines are a lot closer. So the detail is really, it's tough at this scale. Now, the bigger you get, the easier it is to achieve all those little detailed lines. But I wanted to see at a really small scale just how detailed it could get. I don't know, I don't see a big difference in the second pass, do you? So what is the power setting for the cleanup?
25.
And it burns off a lot of the scorching and stuff?
Apparently so.
Alright, well, I'm excited to see this. Like with the naked eye. Not through green and orange. It's very dim for us as we watch this because we're behind the enclosure. And you can hear the vacuum running in the background too, of course. Okay. She's done. So on our end, that's a 7-minute video. So let's see what we have. It's going to be very hot. Okay. Yeah, we lost a ton of detail on that first one. I mean, that's just pretty useless. Oh, we'll try that. But the second one came out better. More detail than I thought we would get. So what I'd love is to see if this really is 1.5 inches. Maybe it is. It just doesn't look it to me. Do you have a ruler? Tape measure? That'll work. Yep, we're just at 1.5. Huh. Optical illusion for me. So I will take a still of after Cameron hits this with the wire brush and see what we have. But that's where we are. So Cameron is buffing these out over the trash can with his Dremel, and that's a brush on there, right?
Yeah, just steel brush.
A steel brush. And he tells me that the yellow will recolor itself.
Yeah, I think if we get it wet or something else.
So it's hard in here with the overhead lights. You did improve the one that worked the most poorly, though. I'm impressed by the improvement in that one. That's actually quite good. I'd like to take a still of that. That's a lot better than I thought it would be. All right, well, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video.